Mr President, I rise on behalf of the Shooters, Fishers and Farmers Party to speak on the Kosciuszko Wild Horse Heritage Repeal Bill 2025. The Shooters, Fishers and Farmers Party will not oppose the bill on one clear condition: that the heritage value of the Brumbies is recognised, respected, and that a sustainable herd reflecting the heritage is managed and maintained in Kosciuszko National Park into the future. I foreshadow that we have a couple of amendments to this bill. We've always said that the management of wild horses must be humane, scientifically sound and carried out using suitable firearms in the hands of skilled shooters. That is non-negotiable. It is commendable that the government now acknowledges what some of us have said for years, that introduced animals can and do have a heritage value. To many Australians, especially those who live and work in the high country, the brumby is not a pest, not a statistic, but a totem animal, a living symbol of freedom, endurance and the pioneering spirit of Australians. I've spoken to many people over the years, stockmen, horsemen, rangers and local families who see the brumby as part of their own story. For them, these horses are part of the landscape and their hearts. To some, the sight of a mob of brumbies running across the high plains is as powerful as seeing the Southern Cross in the night sky. And this isn't just a view held by non-indigenous Australians. In my travels and hunting trips through the remote Northern Territory, I've met indigenous people who hold deep respect for wild horses and even donkeys, some believing that the horse carries the spirit of their ancestors when it runs across the country. Others see the donkey with its distinctive cross on its back as a sacred Christian totem that should not be killed. That tells us something profound. Heritage and cultural meaning are not confined to native species and is not frozen at a certain point in time or history. Animals can and do become part of our shared story, part of our identity, and even when they arrived here with us. But let's also be honest, heritage is not honoured by neglect. Doing nothing is not respect, it's irresponsibility. Allowing animals to suffer through starvation, drought or unmanaged overpopulation is the opposite to humane care. And that's why we've always said proper management is essential. Numbers must be kept at a level that the environment can sustain, but that management must be humane, competent and respectful. Our concern has always been that too often so-called control operations have been run with poor oversight, questionable marksmanship and without sufficient regard to the animal welfare or community sentiment. If management is to continue, it must be done properly with clear standards and accountability and, of course, transparency. But there is another critical element that this debate cannot ignore. Effective brumby management cannot occur in isolation. The Shooters, Fishers and Farmers Party believes that management of brumbies must be undertaken within a broader, coordinated brumby management framework across all land tenures, national parks, reserves, state forests and private land alike. This is not just common sense, it is exactly what the various New South Wales government departments, including the Department of Primary Industries, the Department of Climate Change, Energy and the Environment and Water, already espouse on their own websites. And I quote, "Pest management must be cross-tenure, collaborative and consistent with across land boundaries." If horses are removed from one area but controlled in adjoining lands, then Kosciuszko National Park simply becomes a sink for unmanaged horses from elsewhere attracted by the better feed and conditions in the areas where horses have been removed. That's not management, that's just displacement. It just moves the problem around and invites more conflict. We need collaboration between landholders, national park staff, local land services and community groups to ensure that the brumby populations are responsibly managed across the wider landscape, not just inside the park boundaries. We support the principle that the park's ecological integrity must be protected, but we also insist that the heritage value of brumbies must be preserved within that framework so that future generations can see and understand this living link to our rural, frontier and heritage history. In short, the Shooters, Fishers and Farmers Party supports the repeal bill, provided the heritage value of the brumby is formally recognised and preserved through a maintained sustainable herd. We insist that all control measures be humane and professionally undertaken with suitable firearms and professionals operating those firearms, and we call for coordinated cross-tenure pest management programs across New South Wales to prevent Kosciuszko National Park from becoming a refuge for unmanaged horse populations and surrounding lands. Madam Deputy President, the brumby is more than a management problem, it is a symbol. It represents a bond between people and the land, between past and present. Let us ensure that in caring for our national park, we do not erase the bond, but manage it wisely, respectfully and humanely. The Shooters, Fishers and Farmers Party supports the bill on that basis.